What the hell happened, Patrick? I want to show you guys what went wrong today. I got chopped up. I gave back profit. I got into the red, but I want to show you the moral of the story. I want to be honest with you guys, and I want you to know that I do have red days. Today, having a red day in this Express funded account right here. I went for the home run, and well, I messed up. Let's get into it, my friends. This is the Express funded account, one of the Express funded accounts that I'm in right now. I want to be very transparent, very honest with you guys. I have taken lots of resets. I have blown up funded accounts, you know, all of that stuff. I've done that, right? I've also taken payouts. I've showed you guys the payouts. I think from an overall investment standpoint, like paying $150 for a combine and then getting into a funded account, paying the activation fee, that's what, $300 total investment at that point. And then I'm trading, let's say I do a couple resets. So let's say worst case scenario, I invest, you know, $1,000 with like 5 resets, the actual account cost, and then the actual activation fee. So let's say like worst case scenario, I put $1,000 basically investment into this Express funded account, right? So yesterday the balance on the account was $16,900. I started this account on the 17th. So 9 days, 67% win-loss ratio, not the best win-loss ratio. I have been kind of, I wouldn't say pushing it, but I have been pushing to get some big winners, and that's obviously kind of weighed on my overall consistency. If you're trading 15 contracts, it only takes, you know, 5 seconds to basically lose $3,000 or make $3,000. So if you're not on the right side of the move, if you don't have extreme patience and wait for the perfect entry and then jump in when the market's making the move, well, you're going to get crushed. So it's really, really easy to lose $3,000. Like, it's almost like, you know, I could close my eyes and basically lose $3,000 very, very easily when you're trading this side. Like I said, from an overall risk reward investment standpoint, you know, let's just say I put $1,000. Let's say I do 5 or 6 resets, and then I get into the funded account. I pay the activation fee, and my total investment, like for this account, is like $800 to $1,000. Well, as you can see, like I'm pretty much up there to $16,900 now. So I've pretty much like 10x my initial investment into this account. I do have, you know, 5 winning days. I could take a withdrawal if I wanted to, but I'm trying to like really kind of focus on getting those big winners. You know, I could basically lose $3,000 in 5 seconds, or I could make $3,000 in 5 seconds. So obviously the risk reward, you know, is there. It's just that the fact of like, hey, it's very easy to lose, you know, $3,000 when you're trading 15 contracts. So hitting that daily loss, I think it's just part of the game. And being honest with you guys, I have taken plenty of resets using Top Step. I have been in and out of Express funded accounts. The nice thing now with getting funded in 2 days to basically go into the combine, get funded. And, you know, right now I have combine accounts basically already past the combine, ready to get funded. I can kind of take more risk in maybe one account and then be more consistent in the other account, and vice versa. But I wanted to talk about this account today because it was a really good example of just being patient and waiting for my setups, right? So you can see on the day, I basically just over traded like crazy. It was just, I got in that chop zone and I kept trying to get long, short, and I would be up like $1,000 and then I'd get out. So on my total profit was $8,000 and my total loss on the day was $11,000. So, you know, definitely not my best trading day, and, you know, getting chopped up is obviously what we want to avoid. Kind of just let this area play out. You know, we talked about this area, like this kind of chop zone. We went sideways from 9:49 till about 11 o'clock. And this is what's really, really hard for me. Like, it's really hard for me to sit through this. Like, I have an issue with that. Like, that's one of my biggest kryptonites. 100%. Like, me being able to just be like, hey, I'm not taking a trade. Because it's like, okay, look, it's breaking down. Like, okay, maybe it's going to sell through. Like, nope. Pops right back up. Oh, it's going to pop up. We get long. Oh, it fucking sells back through. So this is something that I really need to work on, something that I know that I need to work on. I need to be like, hey, like in the morning when we get our good setups, take our good trade, like we absolutely crushed this trade right here. You know, that was an easy trade setup. We had multiple wicks on the bottom. We talked about this breakout to the upside. I mean, this was it. This is like the Patrick Whelan breakout. Let's go. Let's make money easy. This trying to trade inside this chop zone, this range for an hour, it just destroys me. And even though I'm not like losing a ton of money on every trade, you know, 15 contracts, you can lose $500, $600 in a matter of seconds. So if you're not on the right side of the move, you're trying to anticipate a breakout or a breakdown, it's very easy to get blown up. And what's interesting is like, look at how easy it was, you know, once the move actually happened. Like once you broke out of this, and you can see, you know, we broke out, we turned it into support, and then look at that, from the 828s up there to the 70s. So a 50-point move, easy peasy, mac and squeezy, cheesy, squeezy, easy, something like that. Very simple. And then if you look here on the NASDAQ, this is a chart that we talked about as well, like during the live stream. Like, look at how this thing kind of just consolidated, kept bouncing there off the VWAP, and then look at how it went after it went. So again, it's like, Patrick, you know, if we're going to trade with big size, we're going to look for these big winners. Well, we got to wait for our setups. We can't trade these chop zones. Like, we just cannot fucking trade these chop zones. Like, there's no reason to trade the chop zone, Patrick. Like, stop. I just, like I said, this is my kryptonite right now. I 100% will admit it, that I have an issue when it comes to the chop zones. When the chop zones happen, it's hard for me to stop being aggressive, especially like after we get that big move up and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be aggressive. I want to be aggressive, but it's like, hey, look, now this is happening basically after this pushes up to here and we get stuck. Like, everything from here on, like this whole area is like, Patrick, just stay the fuck out of there. And what's funny is, like, during the live stream, I talked about this idea too. I was like, man, this, you know, 80 level just won't break. The buyers are kind of just sitting down there holding. I kept talking about this and I kept fighting it. I kept fighting it. I kept fighting it. And it ended up just kind of dwindling away my profits and getting into the red on the day. So is it a massive issue? Like, do I have to, you know, to totally rethink my strategy? No. What I need to do is just like realize that when we're consolidating, you know, if we consolidate for a fucking hour, then we consolidate for a fucking hour. Like, there's no reason for me to trade this shit. So that's like just something I really got to work on personally. You know, I identified this support. We talked about this kind of quadruple fifth fucking bottom thing down there. I saw everything happening, right? Like, I had it very clear in my head, in my overall kind of plan, this idea of this setup, the way it was going. But I just wasn't able to just like refrain from trading it. Like, that's what's so funny. Like, all I had to do was just refrain. Like, just don't trade this bullshit here. We made money on the move up. Okay. Don't trade the bullshit and wait for the next beautiful move. Sometimes I wish I could just listen to myself on the live stream. Like, sometimes, like, I just need to talk to myself. And it's hard because I get like in these little zones where I'm like, no, I'm going to be right. Like, it's going to, I'm going to fucking, I know it. It's going to break. And then it doesn't break. And you can see like these little breakouts, these drops. It's very easy to lose money when it's just chopping inside this area. So it's a great example. I want to be honest with you guys. I want to be transparent. I want you guys to see that, hey, I do have issues. I'm not the, you know, best trader in the world. Do I believe that I'm a good trader? I believe I'm a good trader. I know I'm a good trader. All I got to do is avoid this bullshit right here. Like, avoid this choppy bullshit. Make money. Make it easy. Don't make it hard. Don't make it fucking hard, Patrick. Make it easy. So today, just getting chopped up. It's just, you know, my kryptonite, and I'll 100% admit it. I have an issue when it comes to these consolidation zones. I get frustrated. I get fucking bored. Whatever it is, you know, you're not getting these breakouts, and I'm just like, you know, I'm getting frustrated. And then at that point, the emotion takes over. I go on tilt, and it's like I have one losing trade. I'm like, all right, fuck it. And I go another losing trade, another losing trade, another losing trade. And before I know it, I just gave up all my profits. So it's very easy to do that when you're trading with large size. So I think what I really need to learn from this, the lesson that I really need to focus on, like the moral of the whole story here is, when the setup is there, like with this type of setup, like I need to capitalize, right? Like, I only took like 10 points on this move up. Like, I need to capitalize. I need to make sure that if I get my setup, I capitalize on the setup. And then when I don't get my setup, I don't do anything. Like, that's what I need to make sure I do. Like, that's from here on out. It's like when we get our setups, when everything is lining up, I need to go for, you know, 20, 30, 40 points minimum. Make sure that I'm maximizing those good setups. And then when the setups are shitty, don't take the setups, Patrick. You know, like, focus. Believe, baby. Believe in the setups. And then when the setups aren't there, don't fucking touch them. It's that simple. Don't touch them if it's not there. So, you know, the moral of the story here is we're still green on the end of the week. Even after having a red day or two, we're still green. And that's the big focus. We're minimizing our losses, maximize our profits, making sure that we keep moving forward. I think on the week in that Express Fund account, I'm up like $14,000 on the week. Is it my best week ever? No, but we're not in the red. We took a red day today. I was up like $21,000 total equity in that account. And, well, I gave it back. And that's not what we should ever be doing. Like, we need to make sure that we're maximizing our profits when the setups are there and taking good setups. I mean, it's that simple. Like, if we got a good setup, take the good setup. Make the good setup work. All right. There it is. I'll talk to you guys later on.